What would happen if I were the judge of RuPaul's Drag Race season 17? Obviously, this is going to be really biased, but we'll get to that later. So, this is my rating system. I kind of used this 4 pointed star for like a half a star. So, just think of that as like 4.5 stars or whatever. But yeah, so 5 stars is amazing. 4.5, really good. 4 stars, great. 3.5, pretty good. 3, okay. 2.5, meh. 2, bad. 1.5, it's a flop. 1, it's really bad. And half a star is an absolute mess. Because I think that this season, all the queens, did pretty well, I think. So in some challenges, there are just, everyone did, pretty much the same amount. They did, pretty equally, so that was really hard to determine the bottom placements and, the top. But we will also get to that later. So what I kind of did here is I have in the top left corner, it's saying if it's real or if it's my placements. And then on the right corner, it is the episode number and what the challenge was. So here we have the first talent show with the first 7 queens. This is how they were ranked. Don't talk about Joella. We don't talk about that. And then this is my placements. So I really, really liked Jules. I thought that was really fun. It was campy. I'm sure she was lip syncing to her own song, but I didn't really care. It was really good. And I thought Susie too did a pretty good job. She was great. Lydia, I think that it kind of flopped in the second half of it, but the first half was really good. Lucky, I didn't love nearly as much because if you really boiled down to it, she's just kind of shaking her boobs. And sure, it was creative. And then in 5th place, we have Acacia, and she did okay, it wasn't the most entertaining, but it's a talent, and it wasn't like she flopped it. It was just kind of meh. Then we have Ariete. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a talent, but it really just didn't go anywhere, so I thought it was a little bit worse than Ariete's. And then we have Joella, who's actually kind of an icon. We love her for whatever that was. Yeah. Then we have episode 2, where I thought Lexi was the clear top placement, and I'm glad that the show agreed with me. Then we have mine. I liked Alana's performance a little bit more than other people, so you can see they put her in 3rd place, but I put her in 2nd place. And I liked Corey's a lot too. I thought Corey's was fun. She's always got that Tumblr, so it kind of made sense for her. And then I put Anya's, who I guess I liked more than Samstar. And Crystal, they put her 2nd. I really didn't like it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know. I love Crystal so much, but no, thank you. And then Hormona, I didn't think she flopped that much. I think that it was just okay. But compared to everyone else, yeah, it was rough. So and then we have the episode 3 where it starts out with the 2 people, or maybe it's the end of episode 2. I don't really remember. I binged all of them in a day, so it's all kind of jumbled. But yeah, I mean, clearly Acacia won the lip sync. That's why she has the crown in this photo. But then she gets saved, so it doesn't really matter for the first episode. But yeah, this is what mine would look like. I'm not entirely sure if Joella would win, but I feel like I can just kind of assume that she would choose one of the right ones. So, whatever. We're just gonna say that this is what happened. And then we have the design challenge, and they really liked Samstar's one. I didn't even put her in the top. She's not even there. But Ariete did so well in this design challenge. I absolutely loved her look. It was so glam. And Acacia was kind of a surprise for me. I did really, really love her outfit. I thought that it was really well made. The design of the dress was so good. And then so I ended up just putting Lexi there because I really did like her design look. But it was really hard because so many people did really, really well in this design challenge. Except for in the bottom 3 of Corey, Joella, and Lucky Stars. But I decided that I liked Corey's a little bit more than theirs, so I kind of agree with what they said. Yeah. Oh, also I don't like Anya's look, really. I thought it was like okay, but like it wasn't that good. And I'm also a little bit salty because she stole Jules' thing. Even though it doesn't really matter, I don't think. Next we have this challenge, and I didn't agree with this. Yeah, I think that I gave this win to Crystal Envy because I really liked her in it. And then I thought that Arrietty did literally fine. I didn't know what they were on about. It was like whatever. And then for RDR Live, yeah, I actually thought that Anya should have won. Susie was really like slow and she didn't completely land all of her jokes for me personally. But everything else I agreed with. Then we have the ball, where I think everything checks out. Then we have the snatch game, and I didn't totally agree with this. As you'll see, where did Anya Nerve go? I really didn't like her Eddie Murphy. I thought it was just fine, which is kind of strange, but like whatever. Sam Starr as Kim Petra was so fun. It was so amazing. I love that for her. And then Jules and actually Corey, I think, were close actually. And then everyone else kind of just flopped a little bit. It was not a great snatch game. But then again, one is a good snatch game. Like, honestly. I think like 90% of queens are just terrible at snatch game. And that makes sense because it's really hard. I decided to put people in the low placement. Like, I genuinely have no idea why they put Lexi in the top. I didn't like it. It was like fine. And then Susie Toot was tooting around. And then you have the Rusical. Wow, they put 3 people in the top 2 weeks in a row. And I agree, actually, because I think that everyone did really good in this challenge. So I did give the win to Jules Sparkles, but I don't think anyone did wrong except for the bottom 2. I think that Corey did really bad and Acacia did okay, but everyone else was doing much better than them. Then we have the Betsy Johnson design challenge. Yeah, Arrietty is gray because she's eliminated already in my version. But she's not here. I mean, I kind of agree with most of it. If Crystal Envy was still here, then I think that she would do well in this challenge, so I gave her like around 4 stars. And I didn't really like Anya's look, so I put her in the bottom 2. I think this was another one where everyone was kind of doing well. And I really didn't agree with Lydia's placement. I think that she did really well. I was actually debating putting her in the top, and I was really surprised when she was in the bottom and not the top when they got her out, because I think that design was really cool and interesting. Next we have the Villain's Roast, and I agree with everything except that Arrietty was already gone, and so Crystal, I do think she would flop here, and she would go home against Jules Sparkles. Then it's Ross Matthews versus the Ducks, and I switched Anya and Jules and Lexi, and I don't think anyone did really that well in this challenge. I was debating giving the win to someone else, but I mean, I just barely liked Lexi's more. I thought that everyone did like a pretty like okay job, so it made it really hard to decide who was in the bottom and who like won and stuff. And for the stand-up challenge, I agree with everything. I think that Anya really slayed the challenge, and Lexi did really well. I thought that Lexi was really good at dancing, and she wasn't amazing at telling her story. And then Miss Kim Petra and Lana Jarre didn't really do that well, but Jules and Susie did pretty well. So I agree with everything here. And then we have the makeover, where I think that Lexi should have been in the top instead of Susie. But I still think that like the same thing would happen. I think that Susie would go out here instead of in the next episode. But they really don't want to lose Susie right here, so they're just gonna make it a double Shantae anyways, because I think that they're still gonna want Susie to be around. So that goes into our next episode, where I agree with everything except I think that Lexi should be in the bottom and not the top. Now with the lip sync Lollapalooza, yeah, I think that Lydia destroyed Hormona to the song. Then I think Miss Rosie the Riveter won against Joella. And then we have an interesting thing here because it's kind of like who did it better, the one with like the big breastplate, or I mean it's not a breastplate, but like I don't know, big breastplate versus traditionally good lip syncing. And you could give it to either one, but I feel like it makes more sense for Acacia to win because I feel like Acacia could make it farther than Lucky because Lucky just kind of had a gimmick, and I think that Acacia wins against the gimmick. So I had her that. And then for this one, Corey King did not do that well in this lip sync. You know that she is like a fierce lip syncer, so it would make sense for her to go on. But I think that Ariete won in this lip sync. Then we have Lana versus Crystal Envy, and it's pretty clear that Lana won. And then we have the second round, and I think Miss Rosie the Riveter wins against Acacia Forgot. And then we have this weird lip sync where we don't have the winner of this lip sync here anymore. So, and I think that Ariete stands no chance at all at winning this lip sync. It's kind of a toss-up between Lydia and Lana, but personally, for me, I prefer Lydia's lip sync more, so I gave it to her. And then Susie wins in the end. So Susie is still the winner. Only thing that really changes is Lydia being there instead of Corey. But they are kind of the same person, so. Then we have the Dusted and Busted. I was really surprised here. I actually thought that Anya did the best this season, and so did Sam. We're at the finale where everyone has 2 bottom 2s except Lexi, who has none. Everyone has like a million lows and also some tops, and it's like really even, I think. But I ended up putting the final 2 as Jewel Sparkles and Lexi Love because those are the 2 with the best track record. And then it's kind of hard to decide who would win, but I feel like if we're just talking about lip syncing skills, then the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, or the winner of my RuPaul's Drag Race season 17, would be Jewel Sparkles. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Bye.